All right, hello again, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 State Arts Awards. Yes. That is the proper response to something like this. It's a thrill to be here to just celebrate the arts, the artists, the creativity in Nebraska. It's a true honor to be here. My name is Matt Mason. I was the state poet until about 10 months ago, but I'm honored to serve as the Master of Ceremonies today. Glad the Arts Council has asked me for this. So, on behalf of the Nebraska Arts Council, their partners, Nebraskans for the Arts, and the Nebraska Cultural Endowment, welcome. Today, we not only celebrate the honorees who personify the beauty and creativity of the arts in Nebraska, we also celebrate the state of Nebraska having, I think, somewhat of a unique way of committing to the arts to make this a better place to live, to work, and to create. So we're grateful to all this. Let's also take a moment and please acknowledge that we gather today on the ancestral homeland of the Oto, Missouri, the Pawnee, and on the lands of the four headquartered tribes of Nebraska, which are the Omaha, Ponca, Santee, and Winnebago. As we celebrate the impact the arts have in our communities of Nebraska, we also commit to honoring the traditions, stories, and contributions of these original stewards of this land. We're live streaming today's ceremony across Nebraska. We're also recording, and the link to watch the video will be available on the Nebraska Arts Council's website after today's event. There is a QR code in your program. It's kind of here, very stylishly red, hidden there in the corner. But that's your gateway to the Nebraska Arts Council's website, where you and those viewing can find all the information about this event today. The bios of the honorees, the artists, as well as the names of everyone that made today possible. So please check that out. Read more about these artists. You're going to hear the names of organizations and artists and delve in. They're a great part of our state. So find ways to support them and to encourage them and to just tell them they're amazing. So while you're checking out the QR code instead of listening to me, we're going to welcome back to the stage the Bel Canto Duo. Bel Canto Duo is a genre-defying collaboration between oboist and English hornist Darcy Gammerl and cellist and looping artist David Downing. They're based in the heartland of America. Their music speaks to the spirit of the land. They invite listeners into soundscapes shaped by story, memory, and place, drawing from classical tradition, improvisation, and healing music science. Bel Canto Duo creates immersive performances that reflect the emotional landscapes of rural and natural environments. So please, put your hands together and welcome Bel Canto Duo. hear it again for Bel Canto Duo. Let's also hear a round of applause for Jamie, our ASL interpreter today. It's not easy in events like this where we're saying a lot of names or you've got an MC who likes speaking quickly, so we appreciate your work. But you can find Bel Canto Duo on the Nebraska Arts Council website. They're part of the Nebraska touring program. So click on the touring artist roster on the Nebraska Arts Council website and you can find them and hire them with help of the Nebraska Arts Council, who does great work around the state. I was state poet for 5 years, and the Nebraska Arts Council, as well as Humanities Nebraska, did tremendous work sending me everywhere in Nebraska. They create arts opportunities that we're lucky to have here in this state. Because, you know, Omaha and Lincoln have a lot of chances, but it's a little tougher when you get outside those cities. So we're grateful for the work they do. And now I would like to introduce the Vice Chair of the Nebraska Arts Council Board of Directors. Please welcome up Mark Laughlin.
Thank you. As Matt said, my name is Mark Laughlin. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Nebraska Arts Council, and again, welcome to all of you, and thank you for coming today. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some people and organizations that helped make today possible. Co-sponsor for today's events is Nebraskans for the Arts, a statewide arts advocacy organization whose mission is under the direction of Director Dr. Lance Nielsen, and his charge is to put the arts at the center of life and learning in Nebraska. Lance, can you please stand and be recognized? Lance has been doing some great work on our behalf recently in both Lincoln and Washington, so thank you. Also, the Arts Council's other partner in the arts is the Nebraska Cultural Endowment, a public-private partnership with the state of Nebraska created to sustain the arts and to support the statewide educational programs of the Nebraska Arts Council and Humanities Nebraska. Our thanks to NCE Board of Directors, staff, Advisory Council, and the Executive Director of the Cultural Endowment, Maggie Smith. Maggie, could you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, Maggie. Also, big supporters of the arts and our partners obviously are also the state legislature and executive branches. I do know that we have former Senator Stinner in the audience who is wearing his Husker red in anticipation of our victory in Maryland here tomorrow. But Senator Stinner, you have, as many in this room know, you have been a friend, a true friend of the arts, and had a huge role in the creation of the creative arts districts, which are a big deal for us, and we're doing everything we can to carry on what you have created. So just wanted to say, if everyone could give a quick round of applause to Senator Stinner for everything he's done. And last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank Governor Pillen and First Lady Suzanne Pillen for coming today, taking time out of your busy schedules to come join us and support the arts. If you could please stand and also be recognized. And with that, I will turn the microphone over to the Nebraska Arts Council Executive Director, Mike Markey. And some of you know Mike's history, but Mike is not only an amazing actor and has been for a long time. I've seen him in many roles, but he has also dedicated his life to the arts in Nebraska. And having been on the board for 12 years of the last 18 years, I can say with a very biased view that I think we have the best Arts Council Executive Director in the country. So thanks, Mike. And with that, come on and it's your show.
God, now I have to be good. Thank you, Mark and Matt. Talk about service to the state. Matt, as he mentioned, served as our state poet for 8 years, but he's done so much more for the state and for the art form of poetry, including just recently started his own new nonprofit, Poetry Forward, and congratulations on that and good luck with it. Thank you, Matt. And Mark, it was very nice of you to fill in. Sherry Hofschar, our chair, is off in Spain and Portugal as we speak. And it was nice of you to step in. Mark has served the Arts Council, I think, probably longer than any other Arts Council member. He is just finishing up his 12th year of service. Thank you, Mark, very much. All right, I have the honor of being the Executive Director of the Arts Council, and I can only tell you what a joy that is by telling you about my amazing staff. And if they would please all stand up. These are the folks that make the Arts Council work. They're just scattered around the room. As a point of privilege, I get to brag about them a little bit, but I'll do so by telling you the amazing programs that they help make happen. Just within the last 4 years, we have created, developed, nurtured a number of programs that have been so beneficial to the people of the state of Nebraska, and this is where I need my script. Okay, so the Creative Aging Arts Program is something that we began just 3 years ago. It works with older adults in skill development and socialization. Workshops are led by trained roster artists around the state, and in the last few years, more than 3,000 individuals in 38 communities across the state have been served through that program. Nebraska is one of only 9 state arts agencies across the state to receive federal funding for this program. Our Folk and Traditional Arts Program is another one that we began just a few years ago, and in that time, we have been working to provide grants and services to communities and organizations to help celebrate heritage. The program promotes artists and those working in the folk and traditional art forms, and it educates the public on the importance of Nebraska's folk and traditional arts. And finally, this year, the Arts Council received a special grant from the National Endowment for the Arts to explore Arts and Health Initiative, designed to enhance individual and community health through creative experiences, working with older Nebraskans, veterans, and others from marginalized communities, addressing social isolation and loneliness, mental and physical challenges, and improving health patient experiences. These are just some of the few programs that the staff has been working on. Now, in addition to that, this coming year, we will be, as everybody else in the state, be celebrating the semi-quincentennial of our nation. Here in Nebraska, we will also be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the I-80 Bicentennial Sculpture Project, the federal and state project that installed 8 newly created sculptures along the I-80 corridor. It was a big deal. It was on the Today Show. All 8 of them are right there. Now, beginning this spring, we will be sponsoring a number of exhibits and activities, public talks and presentations with many of the people who 50 years ago were responsible for the success of the project, including one of the artists, John Raimondi. If that name is familiar, it's because John was the artist who brought us Irma's Desire, the piece installed in the Grand Island rest area that caused such a twitter in our state back in the time. John is also the artist, the sculpture we all see every time we fly in and out of Epley Airfield, Dance of the Cranes. The celebrations will culminate with the rededication of all the sculptures on July 4th, led by Governor Pillen at the Blue River Rest Area near Seward. That will be an exciting time. And finally, most importantly, the creative districts, the very successful program that increases tourism and economic growth, revitalizing Nebraska cities, towns, and villages by developing the cultural assets and creative activities of the community. Since just 2020, there are now 36 creative districts and 24 more communities working towards certification. In those creative districts, there have been 45 public art projects and visitor attractions, 34 art festivals, 7 new administrators hired, creating jobs, 20 buildings renovated, 3 of them theaters, 2 of them museums, and 1 new hotel. What's that meant? To date, the state investment of the program is $3.8 million, but those creative districts have leveraged on their own an additional $9.1 million. And that doesn't include the increased tax revenue. In just the last year, sales tax revenue in the creative districts has increased 46.5%, lodging taxes up 55.8%, and tourism, as measured by the creative districts, has increased 115%. My purpose in telling you all those successes is not just to extol the benefits of the program, although I certainly wanted to do that for the governor. But I also wanted to acknowledge that the program has been so successful because of the work and support of so many people. And today I'd like to take this opportunity, call it director's prerogative, to thank one of them, because this is perhaps the only time many of you will know about it. Lynn Rex, would you come up to the stage, please? I'm calling this the Director's Award because except for a couple of people on my staff, few others have known how valuable Lynn has been, come right over here, has been to the Creative Districts program. You see, Lynn is the Executive Director of the Nebraska League of Municipalities. And as such, he has a keen interest in any program that benefits the 395 towns and villages that she works with daily. Now, when Lynn first heard about the Creative District, I think we can agree she was skeptical. Clearly. Of any program that purported to create economic growth and revitalization and run by the Arts Council for her constituents. But once she saw how the program works and the results achieved, Lynn quickly became one of the program's greatest champions. And I have come to rely upon her sage advice about working with communities and the legislature. And more importantly, I've come to trust her as a good friend to me personally and to the program. Lynn Rex, on behalf of myself, the Arts Council, and everyone connected to or benefiting from the Creative District program, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Here at the Arts Council, we give art. This is the nice vase created by Vicki Hughes of the Hot Shops Collaborative back in Omaha, and I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. May I
Can
say
we-
something?
Yes, great.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. And as Mike indicated, initially, I was not a great fan of creative districts. I didn't quite understand what the mission was. I knew what the mission was of our municipalities and our local elected officials and appointed officials across the state. I have done a 180. I think they're absolutely transformational. And one of the things that we've learned as we do training workshops for municipal officials across the state is we tell them you have inherited a tapestry, an incomplete tapestry of what your community is. Your mission is to develop the policies, procedures, and the services that citizens need in order to move your community forward. And creative districts have really woven into so many communities across the state, as you've indicated, and more are doing it, more and more. And I've personally gone out to see some of the incredible work that's been going on out there, and it's been transformational. And so I just can't thank you enough for the opportunity. Governor, thank you for your support of this important program, and senators like Senator Stinner, former Senator Flood, and many others that were working on this. So it is just incredibly important, and we appreciate what you're doing to make communities even better and make Nebraska not just the good life, but the great life.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you so much.
Let's
Thank
take
you
a
so much.
All right, with that, I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'm going to have the honor of introducing the governor of the great state of Nebraska, Jim Pillen.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. How about Lynn Rex? She is guilty. She loves the people in the state of Nebraska. She's extraordinary. Let's give a shout out to Lynn. It's really awesome. There she is. Yeah. You know, I've just got a couple of things. Number one, a gigantic congratulations to all the award winners today and all of your work. And a big shout out to everybody that's here today. The work that's done in the Nebraska Arts Council and everybody affiliated with Nebraska Arts is a really big deal. I love asking it all the time, right? What's the one thing we love the most about Nebraska? It's the people. One more time. What do we love the most about Nebraska? It's the people. And what's so incredible about what everybody in this room has such a commitment and a passion to is telling Nebraska's extraordinary stories in all different ways and forms through the arts. It's an extraordinary, extraordinary gift because so much of what we are in Nebraska, we're humble, we work hard, we don't take a lot of time to celebrate, we don't take a lot of time to appreciate. And so the stories that are being able to be told and in all different forms and to celebrate and enjoy the Nebraska life because of everybody in this room and all the different ways that we're called to share and tell the stories and is really, really, really a big deal and makes it incredibly special. And I think the other part that's really important and we celebrate about what everybody's committed to doing is how it brings us all together. It brings us together in all kinds of weather, no matter what the sets of circumstances are, to appreciate everybody. And I think that's maybe the piece that is so important, that through all different gifts of arts, how we can truly appreciate everybody, tell the stories, and then in so many ways memorialize our stories of the incredible people of Nebraska. Maybe the other that I think is so awesome, I've spent so much time since this calling happened, and as your governor being with our superintendents of K-12 education across the great state. And it's just incredible. I don't know if everybody, it's incredible what our programs are, K through 12, of getting young people introduced to arts and the education and performing and painting and sculpturing. It's really, really incredible. And then the work everybody in this room is doing, just hearing about the program for the seniors and keeping every Nebraskan engaged throughout their entire life. Those are really, really important. So, and then maybe lastly, what I just wanted to simply give a shout out to a good friend of Suzanne and I. Well, maybe before I do that, I wanted to share one last piece of the Capitol. Our Capitol, the People's House, is extraordinary. How many have gone through the Capitol and just spend time looking at the murals of the Capitol? Isn't it absolutely incredible what we have, right? I love to tell students, fourth graders, sixth graders, whoever come through, that it's really, really important to study the murals throughout the Capitol because the murals tells our stories and that we fully appreciate. And there's two things that I want to share with you in the Capitol that are really, really touch my heart deeply. Number one would be the mural on the far north end of the second floor, just facing out on the inside before you'd come into the steps on the north end of the Capitol. It's before you go to the governor's suite of offices. And it's a mural of a farmer with a plow and 2 oxen. Touches my heart deeply because my grandfather was a World War I veteran. And Grandpa was a proud German farmer that loved his horses, so he didn't have oxen. But when he got home from World War I, he started farming with 2 horses and a plow. So every time I walk from the rotunda and walk north, and I look up, and before I head down to the governor's suite, and I see Grandpa. Touches me deeply. And then the other part, how many know that the Capitol, the extraordinary Capitol we have, is the 3rd Capitol that we built? 3rd Capitol. I love asking questions. You know why, what happened to the first 2. So the first 2 had stone from south of town, and it started pulverizing. It wasn't stone that could withstand the elements. So the stone now has come, I think, from Indiana, and of course a lot of pieces from all over the world. So I get to meet lots of people in the Capitol, and we have people from all over the country that one of their hobbies is to visit all 50 states and visit capitals. And anybody from wherever they're at, they'll just go, golly, do you guys appreciate how extraordinary the state capitol is? Because it's one of the most beautiful and most extraordinary that we have in the United States of America, right here in Nebraska. And then lastly, the governor's office. I love it. Every meeting I start, I'll say, is this the first, have you been in the governor's office? And then a number of people say, well, yeah, many times. And then I always say, have you been behind the governor's desk? And everybody says, no. And they said, well, then you haven't been in the governor's office. You need to come behind the governor's desk with me. And there's an extraordinary dome above the governor's desk in the governor's office. And there's 4 medallions that represent the seasons of nature, a lady with, and it's what's in her hair. That only took me about 6 months to get. But the Capitol ground was broken for the Capitol in December of 1922 by the Governor McKelvey, and he broke ground with a horse and a plow. It took 10 years to build the Capitol, and $10 million, all private funds, not one tax dollar. And the part that touches me deeply is below the medallions are the pictures around the dome, and they are the 4 seasons of agriculture. Plowing the field, planting the field, harvest, and celebration. Governor McKelvey was the last governor of Nebraska from agriculture until I've had the privilege to be your governor. He didn't ever get a sit under there, so as I sit and work and engage and do the people's work, I look up once in a while and say, holy cow, only by God's grace. So lastly, a person that is being recognized for an extraordinary commitment to arts that I want to give a shout out because I'm not able to stay, but Rich Viereck, we're awesome to see you. Congratulations. I've known Suzanne and I've been blessed to have Rich help our family with work, and we've known him a long time, and every conversation there's something that he's committed to working to make things better for Nebraska and the people through the arts and the stories. So gigantic shout out, Rich. Really proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you to everybody for Thank you to everybody for your commitment and all that you do. And Senator Stinner, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a little while, and so great to see you. Thanks for being back this way. Congratulations, everyone. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. And I agree with everything you said about your office. I will be honest with you, I enjoy our talks, but I love looking at the murals, so thank you very much. All right, now, I got to get my words back here. Okay. All right, Matt, I'm going to ask you to return to the stage, and if you would, please bring this year's award with you. While Matt heads this way, I want to take this opportunity, though, to tell you and to congratulate that the Hastings Symphony Orchestra has been celebrating this year 100 years as an arts organization in the state of Nebraska. Quite an achievement. Are there any representatives from the Hastings Symphony Orchestra with us? Robin Kuzer, thank you very much for coming. Congratulations. Such a neat achievement. Thank you. Matt, why don't you tell everybody about the award?
All right. So the State Arts Award presented is, I think, one of the best kinds of trophies we could have. It's every time it's done, it's an original piece of art commissioned from a distinguished Nebraska artist. Each of the awards this year is a different, unique painting, ink on Tyvek. The series is called Plato con Frutas. This particular piece is called Plato con Frisas, which is a dish of strawberries. And the artist is Nancy Friedman Sanchez from Lincoln. Nancy, are you here? Could you stand? Thank you, Nancy, for providing this fantastic artwork for all the awardees today. Nancy's art can be found in the Joslin Art Museum in Omaha, the Sheldon here in Lincoln. It's in the Museum of Nebraska Art, newly reopened in Kearney. Also, you know, places like Harvard University and La Biennial de Cuenca in Ecuador. Nancy co-runs Fiendish Plots, an exhibition space in Lincoln, with her husband, Charlie Friedman. So let's hear it again. Please put your hands together for Nancy. And thank you again for providing these incredible awards for our honorees. Mike, I think we're going to give out some awards. How are the awardees chosen?
Funny you should ask, man.
Just curious.
Oh, let me tell you about it, you know. Every year we put out a call to all Nebraskans to nominate folks that they think are deserving of the awards. And we received those this spring, and those nominations are reviewed, discussed, and debated by a dedicated and respected group who make up the final determinations. This year, we want to thank for that extraordinary effort 5 people: Sherry Hofshire, Chris Hochstetler, Robin Kuzer, Kara Weander-Gaster, and Suzanne Wise. Would those folks stand and be recognized for your work?
As a heck of a group of judges, I would love to be in a room with some of my favorite people. And now it's time to give away some awards. So let's welcome the 2025 State Arts Awards. Take it away, Mike.
I do my own music. All right, and thank you, Matt. And now can I ask Mark Laughlin to return to the stage to help me congratulate the awardees. For each award, I will introduce a brief video about the honoree. When that's over, I'll ask the recipient to join Mark and I on the stage. Mark will present the award, we'll shake hands, we'll take a couple quick photos, and you can return to your seat. Do watch the cables on the floor as you come up. And with that, we are ready to go. Go ahead and come on up, and I'll hand this to you. I need both hands to talk. All right. Wonderful. The Arts Accessibility Award recognizes a commitment to outreach and inclusion and to making the arts accessible to all Nebraskans. The first honoree has, for years, provided inclusive arts education and artistic experiences for historically marginalized and underserved communities by connecting them with talented, professional teaching artists.
Y Arts is an arts nonprofit that's been around since 1990. Our goal is to bring quality creative arts to historically marginalized populations, and we do that by connecting up our 30-plus teaching artists with about 65 community partners. We hire professional teaching artists, and we pay them a very competitive wage. It helps teaching artists because then they can practice their craft and they can also share their mission with our participants. Our workshops range from working with those living with a disability, older adults, to after-school programming. We are able to bring in visual arts. We also do creative writing, storytelling, theater. If it's an art and there's a demand, we can usually fill it. We have two different movement programs. One is called Golden Ballroom, where we go in and work with our older adults to keep them active and to create community. And then we also have a program that's called Dancing Classrooms. It teaches social and emotional learning, teamwork, which makes the classroom a better team. Students think they're learning 7 different ballroom dances and mini line dances, but they're learning so much more than that. They're learning those soft skills. Kids on the Block is our disability advocacy program that goes into the schools, grades K through 4, and it teaches students what it's like to live with a disability. The magic or the beauty of this program is that our puppeteers and the puppets share the matching disability. For example, one of our puppeteers happens to be blind, so is his puppet. What I love about Y Arts is, of course, we're sharing art, but we're also creating community, and we remove as many barriers as possible. We never charge a participant a fee. We leave you with art supplies so that you can continue to enjoy art. Y Arts is truly appreciative of this award. Of course, it is a team effort. I would like to thank our dedicated board of directors, and of course our staff members that work tirelessly every day. I'd also like to thank our family members that support us outside of our work so that we can continue to do this important work for our community. I'd also like to thank our very generous, long-term, consistent funders. Y Arts never charges a participant a fee, and it is because of our funders supporting our work that we can continue to offer that option to our participants. And finally, I'd like to thank the Nebraska Arts Council and, of course, all of our state legislators that support the robust programming in our state.
Receiving the award for Y Arts is Executive Director Mary Jim Lelisco. Come on up. Our second Arts Accessibility Awardee serves adults with Parkinson's disease, providing them, as well as their caregivers, spouses, and partners, with an uplifting dance arts outreach program.
I do not underestimate the power of dance theater with my outreach programs. I was fortunate to have had and enjoy excellent dance training for years and years that not only served my professional career, but is now a motivating force for bringing the benefits of dance to my dance students in Dance for Parkinson's, Contemporary Dance for the Ageless and Unstoppable, and Dancing Hearts. The arts heal us on many levels. Dance is a remedy that engages the senses, to expand self-awareness and ultimately improve movement and balance while exploring the interaction of the body with space. Dance connects mind, body, and spirit. That's the cherry on top. And it fosters an awareness in us, not only in space, but also with each other. Dance breaks isolation, and it addresses very effectively physical, emotional, and social needs, and in a fun, creative, and stimulating environment. In dance theater, the dancer's body is their fundamental instrument. It's used to express ideas, convey emotions, tell stories through movement, transforming dance into a medium for communication and interaction. In addition, many participants have expressed how dancing to music helps them achieve a state of mobility and fluidity that they may not find in other movement forms. Most of all, the essence of dance is joy. I work hard to bring this and more to the dancers in my outreach programs. Their positive responses truly warm my heart. When they walk into the dance studio at Nebraska School of the Performing Arts or other locations I may be teaching at, they are dance students studying the art form of dance. And our circle dance at the end of the class, which is part of the dance class etiquette, a time of giving thanks for dancing in a group, always moves me in ways that words cannot describe. Which is why we dance. I am so deeply honored to receive the State Arts Award for Access to Arts. For me, dance has never been just a passion. It's been a journey and a source of pure joy from the first time I stepped into a studio to now. It's a joy I've spent my life sharing, a lifelong dedication to this art form. A marathon, not a sprint. And to have my efforts recognized in this way is humbling. This award is also more than just a personal honor. It's a profound recognition of dance itself as a vital part of our state's artistic culture. From my perspective, it is not a final destination, but fuel for the continued journey. The journey ahead, strengthening my resolve to spread the joy and power of dance to even more people in our state. And I hope it shines a light on all artists and young dancers who are just beginning their journeys. Thank you all so much. I give thanks to dance with you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ruth Davidson Home. Years of research have shown that arts education is closely and positively linked to nearly every achievement that we want for our children and demand from our schools. The Excellence in Arts Education Award recognizes individuals who have made long-term contributions to arts education in Nebraska. Our first recipient is a dedicated administrator, teacher, and advocate who works every day to forge a stronger, mutually beneficial between the arts and education.
What really inspired me to become a music teacher was just how much I loved music. I started playing the piano when I was in second grade, took lots of lessons, things like that, and joined the band when I was in fifth grade. I actually went to college thinking I was going to be a band teacher, but then became a vocal music teacher. I taught music for the Bellevue Public Schools for 23 years, then started at the department in June of 22. This role is such a unique one because no one else in the state does something similar. So I tell people that I usually live in 3 buckets. I live in professional learning, policy, and special projects. I get to travel the state and work with our regional service centers or educational service units and meet with teachers. And then I also work in policy a little bit with things like the revision of the art standards, other things that I do, special projects. The first year, we actually were here at the Arts Council and they said, hey, we want to talk to you about something. Would you be willing to partner with us and do a grant program? We were able to provide $180,000 to 79 teachers for arts education projects. Another project that I work on every year, and this has become kind of a celebrated project, is the Arts Exchange. It's a video newsletter series that seeks to connect arts educators with arts nonprofits around the state. I love being able to work, and for the most part, to be honest, it's behind the scenes, to do what I can do to make it possible for teachers in their classrooms to do what they do. I'd like to thank the folks that I work with at the Nebraska Department of Education, Dr. Marissa Pezant, who is the Assistant Administrator for the Office of Teaching, Learning, and Assessment, as well as the Director of Content Area Standards, and our Academic Officer, Allison Denbesty, who is the also the administrator of the Office of Teaching, Learning, and Assessment, as well as the folks at the Arts Council, Mike Markey, the Executive Director, and Ann Alston, the Program Specialist for Arts Education, and Josh Brown, the Program Coordinator for Arts Education, as well as the whole staff at the Arts Council. I'd also like to thank my family for supporting me. There's many nights where I'm on the road and when I'm traveling. I truly value the support of my wife Jennifer and my son Graham. And I'd also like to thank the teachers for the work that they do each and every day in the classrooms and what they provide to students in Nebraska.
Cody Tallarico. We think Cody's a pretty neat guy. All right. Our next Excellence in Arts Education recipient has for 20 years devoted her talents and energies to the students of the Lincoln Public School System.
I went to Northwest Missouri State University for college, and I landed in the art department and loved it, and have pursued a career first in graphic design, but then was called to teach through a small community school near where I grew up, where they needed an art educator. And so I re-looked at where I was headed and what I was doing and decided to go back and get a master's in education. I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of different individuals who have expanded my notion of what students need and how we can engage them and how we can spark that interest and excitement about learning. We've moved from the discipline-based art education that we've once known to a more contemporary art-based inquiry process that uses the creative process to tell students that their process is just as important as their final product. And I love the curriculum that we do now because it brings in lots of different artists and lots of different ways of making. And that is the essence of our world, is that it's a continually changing space. And if we're curious, if we ask questions, if we look closely, we're going to see those and want to know more and want to express that in different ways. If we start looking at a portfolio of learning and talk about what had impact on you, it's not the score, it's the experiences. I remember making this work of art. I remember writing this essay about this book in 4th grade. Those are the things that we need to focus in on in education, and to help our students see and our families see that those moments are the moments that the child will carry with them out into their future. A big thank you goes to so many people and the work that they've done to create this space for me to support others, including the many teachers in Lincoln Public Schools who are my collaborators and the influences of where we're headed and what we do. Without them, I couldn't do this work. I also am appreciative of the many mentors that I've had throughout the years, Julia Marshall, Jean Detlison, Ellen Winter, all of those people that have gone before me in art education. I stand on their backs. And then finally, to my family, thank you.
Congratulations, Lorinda Rice. The Leadership in the Arts Award recognizes individuals who have made a significant and lasting impact on the artistic landscape of Nebraska. Our first honoree is a gifted and award-winning artist, but today we honor her for her leadership, making a striking difference for the community of Gering, Nebraska.
Being involved in the arts is really important. When I taught school, I did it for 35 years. It's really important to teach those kids to think and to be curious and to look out at everything, and not just for themselves, but what's around them. It just, I think, made a difference. And so I have students everywhere now across the country, and it's just great to see them when they come back. That connection to the community is really important. It's through different boards. The Arts Center, Theater West, and then on state level, Arts Council, Humanities. I was on a commission to select judges, believe it or not, once upon a time. That was pretty cool. And State Historical Society, Nebraskans for the Arts, and then I'm on an advisory board now for the endowment, Nebraska Endowment for the Arts. After I retired from teaching, I did a lot of drawing on my own, and then thought, well, we need to give to the community. I was talking to Amy Seiler, the person who designed the plants in this great space. I said, how would you like to sculpture here? So I put together a little committee, and then we approached community resources, a Keno group and a tourism group, and then the Arts Council. And so they put up the money to purchase these sculptures. So there's 3 of them. They're great sculptures. They're all from Nebraska artists. It was a great experience. We gave them to the city, all of them, and with no strings attached. So it's good to have a project and keep moving along. I draw things I know, so things that are in the backyard, things in the countryside, learning something new every time. I just finished a drawing of green glass, and that was to learn how light goes through glass and what happens, and it was just real fascinating. I focused on pencil drawing because it's easy. You just have a box of pencils. When you're tired, you get up and walk away. You don't have to clean anything up. There it is. So I think JFK once said that if you don't have art, authoritarian governments will run it out and destroy the culture. It's important. You just have to maintain it, make it grow. Yeah. Keep your mind alive, keep thinking, and lift everything up. Just keep moving along. With special thanks to Rita Stenner, Mike Markey, and Suzanne Wise, and all the other wonderful people who wrote the lovely letters. Thank you.
Gretchen Peters. You know, that I-80 sculpture project that we are going to be celebrating this coming summer will include not only those 7 sculptures in those rest areas along the I-80 corridor, but we will call attention to the other wonderful sculptures along the I-80 corridor, everything from Leahy Mall in Omaha all the way out to Gehring. And yes, that's close enough. So we look forward to making that all part of it. Our second recipient of the Leadership Award has left a legacy of success everywhere she's been. Whether at the Joslin in Omaha, the Museum of Nebraska Art, or the newly certified Bricks Creative District in Kearney.
So I'm originally from Seattle. I started studying ballet fairly young, and I kept with it and was fortunate enough to be able to study professionally in Seattle as well as New York City. The arts administration information I had acquired through the ballet world transferred very nicely into the museum world. Ultimately, I wound up coming to Nebraska some 45 years ago in the administrative area of the Joslin Art Museum. Some 21 years later, I retired from that position. A year later, I was asked to be the interim director here in Kearney at the Museum of Nebraska Art, and that temporary appointment wound up being 17 years as the director of MONA. What I see is so wonderful about Nebraska, visual artists, they know performing artists. Musical artists know visual artists. And so as a result, the inspiration and the pushing the envelope of all the various disciplines can really take place because they know each other and they can be influenced by each other's work. And that is what makes Nebraska, to me, seem so very special. I've elected to stay here in Kearney and become involved in all sorts of wonderful activities, usually art and culture influenced. So I'm involved with the Kearney Symphony Orchestra. I still am involved with the Nebraska Museums Association, again, feeding my need to keep up with museums. And I also am involved with the Kearney Area Storytelling Festival. And then a really big one is the Kearney Culture Partners. We are the administrative arm of Kearney, the Bricks Creative District, and that is a very exciting new project I'm very involved with. It's let me have a very rewarding and busy and I hope helpful retirement. I am delighted to be able to thank all those who were responsible for this award that I'm receiving right now. It is deeply, deeply meaningful to me. Our Arts Council, the selection committee that the Arts Council put together for those who nominated me and who, as a surprise I might add, and those who wrote letters of recommendation for this nomination. So it's a lot of people, and I am grateful to them, one and all. Thank you so much.
Audrey, please come up. Thank you, Audrey. I hate microphones. All right. Now, Nebraska is home to many cultures and traditions. The Heritage Award recognizes artists who bring a better understanding of their culture while celebrating the beauty of their art form. Our first honoree is the White Clay Makerspace. You know, their website says simply, providing jobs and resources for artists in the White Clay Pine Ridge Reservation area. But what they've accomplished, what they mean to that community and to the arts of Nebraska is so much more.
Well, White Clay Makerspace is a place where we are providing tools, resources, training, and opportunity for crafters and artists from and around the Pine Ridge area to have a place where they can safely do their art. And we provide a community where they encourage and teach each other about arts and crafts that carry their culture and heritage. We started out of a desire to help what we call kitchen table artists, to provide the tools that they don't have or can't afford, or it doesn't make sense for them to own a full long arm quilting machine, but they can come in and for $2 or $3 a day use ours. We have 3,000 some square feet of what was the original Arrowhead bar and then became the Arrowhead beer store that was closed in 2017.
It's really a big deal that this went from being a liquor store where people came to buy liquor to now people come in to buy art, share art. This building has brought a lot of pride.
Who would have thought after many, many years later, I would be here on a scaffold putting color in this town. This particular mural, it was a mind-blowing thing to my imagination. The one main part on the building that sums it all up is some vines growing right at the entrance. What that vine represents is survival, hope. Anything can happen, change for the better, anything pertaining to that's what it all means.
We're just trying to change it and make art the main thing for this town.
I'm happy to be a Nebraskan, part of creating something that's life-giving in white clay. Hey, thank you so much. We feel so honored to receive this award, the Heritage Award. We have an organization that allows them to pass on their culture and their heritage, and this occurs through the art that they do. Lots of people to thank that have been part of the White Clay Makerspace. Some of my early partners were the USDA Rural Business Development Grant has given us funds that have allowed us to make capital improvements and really buy this property and help to develop it. The Rotary Club stepped in, provided a global grant, but most of all, they provide volunteer service. There have been so many volunteers over the years. I do want to thank all the people that have volunteered and help us serve over the past and in the future, which may be some of you. So thank you so much for this honor.
Receiving the award is founder John Ryder. Such a great story. Our second recipient of the Heritage Award is the Bluebird Cultural Initiative, whose mission is to provide meaningful programming that enriches understanding of the history and cultural traditions of Native American peoples of the Great Plains.
Bluebird Cultural Initiative is focused on revitalizing traditional practices, the traditional arts, while increasing the health and wellness for the Native community.
For us as Native people, our culture is based on the arts. We are trying to teach and revive all these lost practices.
We do a lot of youth and family programming, learning how to make regalia, beading, quill work, how to make hand drums, but also learning the language. We are very particular about them getting the understanding of origins behind the symbols, behind the languages that we're using, so that they understand why we do these things.
We have at least 40 different tribal affiliations within our youth group.
For our young people to be able to learn what their symbology is for their specific tribes, it really brings them back a connection to their ancestors.
The self-confidence, the self-esteem is just escalated because you should see some of our kids when they accomplish some of the tasks that we have for them.
And then we do a lot of professional development for organizations in the community, but not only serving Nebraska, really the Great Plains region. So really working with those who will be in fields that are directly connected to the Native community, giving them a better understanding of best practices and how to serve them in a way that they need.
To be able to teach, that next generation gets to see the true impact of the hours that it takes to spend learning a specific song, and what are these words, and what is this song specifically about. And so that's the importance of our own cultural identity, focusing on our own self-esteem because of all of the atrocities committed against the indigenous people. Collectively, we get to gather today to strengthen and heal those wounds. And so that's what I love about Bluebird Cultural Initiative.
I'd really just like to thank Nebraska Arts Council for acknowledging and seeing the work that we're doing across Nebraska.
I would like to personally thank Stephanie Plummer from the Nebraska Arts Council, who actually submitted all of the paperwork years ago for the National Endowment of the Arts.
I'd like to thank the educators and all of those who've allowed space and find it important to bring us into your doors. And I would love to thank our community members.
And also all of my collaborations, working with all of the organizations in Omaha, like UNMC and Metro Community College, the Latino Center, Peter Kiewit, the Joslin Museum.
And our board. We have an amazing board making sure that our mission is being taken care of.
It's been an amazing ride, and I can't wait to see where it takes us next. So, Pilami Apalo, Tokshaake Wachiankekte. Thank you very much.
Receiving the award for the Bluebird Cultural Initiative is the founder and a 2025 recipient of the National Endowment for the Arts Heritage Award Fellowship, Steve Tamayo. Choreography going on behind us here. This is great. All right. The Organizational Achievement Award is presented to two organizations that model artistic excellence and service to their community. The first organization to be honored is the Pride of Nebraska in celebrating the cultural and artistic significance of quilts and textile art.
In 1997, Native Nebraskans Robert and artist James donated their personal quilt collection of almost 1,000 quilts to the University of Nebraska. Their collection was incredibly unique because it had quilts that spanned 400 years, and no one had ever seen a collection this large and this diverse before. In 2008, the museum as we know it today was open. There's something about cloth that people gravitate towards. We can teach history, we can teach art, we can teach social norms. We can talk about what was happening 2 centuries ago around the world and how that comes back and ties around to something that has happened in our own country through a vehicle that is not intimidating, but is actually very relatable. And that's wonderful. It has been amazing to really see how the museum has become a hub for the community. We've always participated in First Friday. We always have some type of programming that corresponds with our exhibitions. That has parlayed into Sewing Saturdays. So once a month there's a Sewing Saturday as well. The building and the museum is really beginning to feel like that community center, and we love that. On behalf of the International Quilt Museum, thank you so much for awarding us the Organizational Achievement Award. It is such an honor to be nominated and to receive this award. The Nebraska Arts Council's annual support is so meaningful to us and enables us to create and provide interesting programming and exhibitions for the public. It enables us to do what is in our hearts. So thank you for that, and thank you too to the supporters of our donors who continue to walk alongside us in our journey, support us and help us and keep us moving forward. We also couldn't do it without the important support for the arts and culture in Nebraska by our officials. We definitely need our elected officials' support to keep the arts vibrant in the state of Nebraska, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for your continued support, and come see us at the International Quilt Museum.
Thank you, Leslie. It's a phenomenal facility. If you haven't been yet, well, shame on you. All right. Our second recipient also brings renown to the state of Nebraska for their unique mission that resonates with the history and the people of Nebraska.
Well, Bone Creek's mission is to connect people to the land through art. We live in an agrarian area, truly in an agrarian society, and our roots go back to the land. We started in a small storefront on the other side of town with 2,000 square feet, and we have grown into this building of 20,000 square feet. So the change has been dramatic. This space opened in April of 2025. Our permanent collection is very large, and we are finally able to get a lot of it out that we've not been able to show. We have rotating exhibits from all over the country. We had a donor that was very interested in international agrarian art, and he was very generous with it. So now we do have one gallery that we have up internationally, and it just broadens our scope. We've always done a lot of education. We now have 2 dedicated classrooms. Well, I love the art. I love the possibilities. I love what it can do for the area, for the community, for the state. It is a first-class art museum. I want the word to get out that people realize how wonderful it is and make the trip to come here and see it, because it is special. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Nebraska Arts Council for the award that they have given us. We are so honored. I also need to thank all of our donors that made this place possible. I want to thank all those people on our board who worked hard to bring this to fruition. I want to thank our employees, Gabby, Sarah, our curator, Amanda. They come up with wonderful ideas. I want to thank our volunteers. We have a marvelous volunteer corps who greet our guests and show them around and make it a home. We can't talk about the beginnings of Bone Creek without mentioning Anna Nolan, Alan Kovalt, Mark and Carol Mosman. As founding board members, it was their vision. They have carried on through the years to truly make this a splendid museum.
I think one of the first organizations I visited when I joined the Arts Council 16 years ago was the Bone Creek. And then it was just a small storefront. But Alan and Anna and Mark had dreams of a larger space, and it was so exciting to go out and be part of that reopening this summer. So congratulations to your organization. Our second recipient, oh, wait a second, that's two of them. You weren't counting, come on. All right. The Outstanding Artist Award is presented to an individual who has demonstrated not only high artistic achievement, but also a lasting commitment to Nebraska's art scene. This year we have two such talents. Our first outstanding artist is a celebrated guitarist, composer, and educator known for his dynamic blend of flamenco, Latin, jazz, and world music. He uses the power of music to teach about culture and inspires students to explore their own identities and cultures.
Music was always involved at home, but my mom forced me to play guitar at the beginning. After 3 weeks, almost a month, is when I started feeling in love with the instrument, and then my mom asked me to quit because my grades were going bad in school. Then I just kept going on my own, encountering and facing new people that had the same passion as me and learning from them. Now, today, I am very, very fortunate. I can say I'm spoiled because I don't feel like this is a job. What I love about playing guitar is I can transfer my emotions to my listeners and my audience, and hoping that they will understand what I'm trying to say with my notes. At the end, when I see their smiles, when I hear the claps, which is not about me, it's about them being thankful, I'm very honored. I have a big responsibility to bring a positive teaching experience. I want to leave a legacy to my students, that hoping one day they will do the same thing in their generations. And what I want them to do is keep sharing the good vibe, the good news, the love through music. It's very important to support the arts, because I am one of those experiences that you come to this country and you can do something, which we call the American dream. So I'm still a dreamer. I'm just keep dreaming, imagining. I just want to thank God, my wife, my kids for being great support. But also I want to thank the Lead Center for Performing Arts for supporting my music, believing in me. I want to thank Nebraska Arts Council for giving me this honor to be chosen for this year as the Outstanding Artist. I want to thank the community of Lincoln for supporting my music. Without you, I won't be here. And for the entire state, for you opened the doors for me to access with my music. So thank you everyone for your support, for your love, for making a great memory, good memories for me to be at your stages, to be any place that I can share my music. So thank you for welcoming me. I feel very welcome, included. Thank you.
Daniel Martinez. Gosh, he's good. Our second outstanding artist is an interdisciplinary artist based in Omaha. She utilizes methods of painting, installation, performance, and Native American ceremony in unconventional ways. Of her art, one supporter wrote, "Her work is participatory, a call to action, and reimagines traditional Native American symbology to fit the narrative of today's global landscape.
I was just born an artist. I don't know how else to describe the path. My work is heavily influenced by my heritage. I'm Lakota, so Lakota cosmology sets things in motion for me. I love thinking about cosmology and bringing it down to earth here and seeing ways I can connect that cultural heritage in unexpected spaces and unexpected ways. I love the solitude of painting and drawing in my studio. A lot of the marks I make end up becoming more immersive environments and spaces where there's audience participation or larger collaboration happening. I feel like in my studio I plant a lot of the seeds with the marks I make and the colors. And I love going out and sharing ideas with other artists that maybe bring in an element of sound or video to help me build something that's more sculptural, to really bring these characters and marks to life. Art is such a healing force in the world and necessary to all of our humanity, no matter what it is we do in our day-to-day lives. I really try to create a space of respite for people, a space of wonderment, a space where people are safe to ask questions and share stories. It's not just about me and my journey, it's about all of us together and growing together. I am really proud to make art in Nebraska. There's so much room to dream and explore ideas. It's really exciting. Palamia, thank you to NAC and to the state of Nebraska for this incredible recognition. I want to send a huge hug to all of my friends and family that have supported and encouraged me on my path as an artist. And I, of course, want to dedicate this to my daughter, Lila. This is all for you, and I pray that future generations can continue to watch incredible artistry flourish in Nebraska.
Now, the Thomas C. Woods III Partner in the Arts Award is named in memory of the late Arts Council member Chip Woods. The award recognizes the dedication of time, talent, or treasure in support of the arts of Nebraska. This year, the award recognizes a valuable partner for the Arts Council, providing funding, services, advocacy, and helpful counsel for our agency as well as many other Nebraska organizations.
Mid-America Arts Alliance was actually founded in Nebraska, in Lincoln, in 1972. Woody Varner was actually the driving force behind the creation of Mid-America Arts Alliance, a name that I'm sure a lot of Nebraskans will remember. It was the culmination of ideas that our founders had in Nebraska and other states across the Midwest about how you could pool resources across jurisdictional boundaries to provide more support for the arts, more support for artists, and also provided support for access to the arts. We have a 6-state regional area, which includes Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. And we also have national programs that serve the entire country. One of the things about the funding that we provide for communities across the state of Nebraska is opportunities for them to customize the art experience to what suits their own local community. And one of the things that's been fantastic for us to do is provide grants to individual artists, and it funds the artists themselves. So they can go on and do whatever they need to pay the light bill or create new works of art or just sort of support themselves. One of the things that we've learned over the years is that arts are not just an amenity. Truly, the arts are a driving force of the economy, $1.2 trillion industry. In the latest survey that was created, we've learned through many programs that have taken place across the United States that arts have a profound effect on health. Arts are something that are really essential in the country and to the fabric of the United States. My soul is fed through the work that we do. When I meet an artist whose life has been changed by a grant we've provided them, when I see a school bus arrive at an arts organization filled with children that are experiencing an art interaction of some kind, that just fills my heart with joy. Many times that initial interaction goes on and affects people throughout their lives. My hope truly is that artists and arts organizations throughout Nebraska continue to dream and dream big about the future. We are so grateful at Mid-America Arts Alliance to receive the Thomas C. Woods III Partner in the Arts Award. Our thanks to the Nebraska Arts Council and all of our friends in Nebraska.
Receiving the award from Mid-America Arts Alliance is Todd Stein, Executive Director. Thank you, Todd, for everything. Now, the Leonard Thiessen Award is a little bit different than the others. It is given by the members of the Arts Council Board themselves. It honors individuals who have made an extraordinary contribution to the arts and to the state of Nebraska. The award itself, Mark, if you wouldn't mind bringing it on up. The award itself is also different. It was created by Littleton Alston of Omaha, who was himself honored at the 2023 State Arts Awards as Outstanding Artist. We are fortunate that he shared his talents in the creation of this award. The Leonard Thiessen Award is named for the first Executive Director of the Arts Council. The first recipient was Woody Varner, and the last was Bob Nefsky. In between, we've honored only 12 people with the award. It's not given every year. It's given when it's right. This year, the Arts Council has chosen to present the Leonard Thiessen Award to a man who has been at the forefront of service to the arts and culture of Nebraska for more than 30 years.
I'm Nebraskan by birth. My grandparents, one of them born in a sod house, at least that far back. The surprise of my life was working for a Big Four firm and getting to stay in Nebraska. I spent 30 years at Touche Ross, and through the merger of Deloitte and Touche together, they wanted us to be community involved, something we enjoyed, but something we would be active in. What I found out is the people I enjoyed, who were the board members, were involved in the arts. Originally, I started off, the firm was asked to do some work for Omaha Ballet and then also Joslyn. And I started just to be on boards in Lincoln. I got on the Nebraska Arts Council. I was appointed by Ben Nelson. That was wonderful. And then what happened to the Nebraska Arts Council was the Cultural Endowment. The Cultural Endowment, which is the only endowment of its type in the U.S. This is a public partner in Nebraska. It's really been remarkable, the growth of that partnership, to have both public and private money. When I was on that board, I went on to Mid-America out of Kansas City, which is a regional board. My life has been a very balanced life. I feel rewarded. And I always told people, they said, what are you going to do when you retire? And I said, well, I'm going to do what I always did, just more of it on the art side. So that's what I do. Artists are windows into the future. They're telling us about the problems of the day, and they're putting it, in front of us in a visual form. I'm a person who likes change. I feel I'm helpful because of that. It doesn't bother me that change is happening. The only thing we haven't talked about is the importance of an artist, and they're the raison d'etre for this, and I don't forget that. I want to take this opportunity to thank the committee and Nebraska Arts Council members, the board, or whoever served on this committee for my selection. I am truly, truly honored. I looked at these names, friends that I've known forever, many of them now not with us anymore. So I feel very, very lucky to be on this list. And I probably don't deserve it, but I really feel honored to receive it. There's another group of people I'd like to thank, and that is those recipients. Having known most of them, having worked or been on boards or done things with them, there's nothing like peer pressure, peer enthusiasm to take you on a trip that you might not have gone on. So all of those people in one way or another influenced me, and when I looked at that, I thought, I'm really with a good crowd, and I'm so glad they were here for me. So thank you.
Rich Varick, would you join us, please?
Congratulations to all the awardees. Let's give them all an additional boost of applause. The state of Nebraska is lucky to have so many amazing artists and arts organizations. As someone who's been to every county in Nebraska, every place I go, there are poets in the audience, there are visual artists in the audience, there are community organizations that I didn't know were there before I came. This is an amazing landscape we live in. And as someone who's both an artist and I've run arts organizations, but mostly as an audience member, I am grateful for all the individuals, all the organizations in our state that present and support the arts in Nebraska. Now, before we leave, I want to invite everyone to stay. There will be a reception here in this room where you can meet and congratulate the honorees. And before anyone goes anywhere, though, the awardees are supposed to come back on stage for a family photo time, everybody. But this will be awesome. I would like to thank our elected officials who stand up for the value of arts in Nebraska. That is so important to have that kind of support, as well as all the organizations, audience members, everyone. Thank you for attending today, spending your afternoon celebrating the arts in Nebraska. Please continue your support. To all the artists and everyone out there, keep doing the work you do to make Nebraska better and make our communities better. Let's do this again in a couple years. Thank you all.